Okay, so um, I don't know if any of this is gonna make sense, but I'm just gonna sit down first. I'm gonna try to spit it out as fast as possible. Okay, so I'm going through a separation right now, and his parents are coming to get the stuff, and his fur baby Lo is still here, and she's been acting out, attacking my familiar, and um, they always get in spats and stuff. And I really do believe that pets pick up their owner's vibration, their sense, right? If you don't like a person, then and you go to pet that animal, and that animal kind of like lashes out at you. Well, even if you can't tell, or they didn't say it straight up, you should get the kind of vibe that that person doesn't like you. But that's fine, whatever. Anyways, she's been acting pretty melancholy, but randomly having spurts of attacking Calypso. And then I picked her up today after I got home from work. My ex's parents came and picked up most of the stuff, and she'll be picked up on Friday. And so I wanted to give her some comfort, right? Because I'm like, it's not fair to her. I understand why she's upset, and she's been, lashing out. So I picked her up, and then it was like a small little embrace. She was cool, and then she wanted to be put down. I was like, great. And then I'm thinking, if that was my own child, I'm trying to comfort, right? I'm like, don't worry, you'll get to see your daddy again. It'll be just fine. Even if you don't get to see him, you're going to be going to grandma's house. You're okay. Everything's going to be okay. And then I thought my own circumstance with my own family, my parents separated when I was like 5. And I can only imagine that's what my mom said to me. Like, don't worry, everything's going to be okay. But after a while, she's seen me crying and how upset I was because I used to cry every time my dad left. And there's stemming from abandonment issues there. But anyway, so every time he left in the car, weekends or something, I would always cry. And then eventually, because she'd see me cry, she gets so upset, right? I'm a Cancer, and my mother's a Pisces. I don't know if you follow that stuff, but after a while, she's so sick of feeling my pain that she just, tells me to shut up, stop crying, or whatever. And I'm told to just, like, deal with my shit, but, like, don't express it. Because if I express it, she feels it. And then I'm thinking, well, fuck, that's kind of mean, right? But I understand it. And then I'm thinking, well, like, I wonder if that's how my ex's parents were too, because they went through a divorce. Only the difference is they kept things together for the sake of the kids. There was, and I wasn't used to that. When my parents split, they split. There was no sharing events and stuff like that together. I was not used to that. And I'm like, wow, that's really awesome that you can do that for the kids. Right on. Like, good for you guys, right? And I realized that even though his parents are divorced, they still have this odd relationship. And, I don't want to get into too much detail, but I can only imagine how his mother felt, when the separation. And I know my ex probably watched her as a kid, watched her go through all this pain. He felt so much pain, but he felt it too. He absorbed it. And, after a while, like, it just became too much. And I'm sure, like, she took the majority of her anger and pain because he has a younger brother too, 2 years. Same with me. I have a younger brother, 2 years separate. And he, like, was the punching bag for her almost, right? So not only did he absorb her pain, but, like, he was the punching bag for any of the lashing out. And, after a while, like, he has his abandonment issues with his father. So, like, a lot of that had the acting out, just like I acted out, right? And it's because even negative attention is still attention. And he just hold on, this is a lot. And so after a while he became numb to that, right? And then when it came to our relationship, he's seen me upset, and like I said, he only ever really cried maybe twice, 3 times in the entire 7 years. One of the times was I was crying over my father. I lost my father when I was 26. I'm 33, but I was still mourning the loss of my father. I just recently, at this point, going through everything I'm going through, got over that, in the sense as I released and forgave myself for what I blamed myself for in his passing, even though it was completely out of my control. Everybody does that when they mourn. Sometimes they're like, oh, what could I have done to prevent that? Anyways, stem back to what I was saying. So when my ex seen me cry the one time, like, I noticed he was tearing up and crying, and I never said nothing. I kept it to myself. But even to this day, I'm like, he felt my pain. But I can imagine all the pain that I carried, how much he absorbed, because when we're with a partner, especially if you're divinely meant to be together, even whether or not it works out, some people are stubborn in their journey, but whether or not, we feel each other's pain. And that goes for the entire collective, every single person you meet, every single person that comes into your life, every single person that you've dealt with, good or bad, whatever the vibe is, they feel your pain in their own way. You feel theirs, and we're directly reflecting off each other. And everybody, every single individual literally is connected. And that's why they call it the collective. And so, yeah, staying positive is definitely ideal. It's not easy because your mind gets strayed. You get so used to being caught up in the world that you're not used to focusing on the good. You're so used to focusing on the bad. Why? Because this is a protective. Like, it's a preventative. So, anyways, I don't know if I got all I wanted to say out. My battery was low. I was charging it. Anyways, but yeah. So, when you're having issues, unfortunately, this relationship did not work. And it depends how hard you want to work on your own relationships with people, friends, family, co-workers, lovers. How hard do you want to work? It's how deep do you want to go within yourself, and then understand yourself, and then understand what they feel. Because whatever you've gone through, guaranteed they did too. Maybe not in the exact same way, but how patient are you? And it's sad that sometimes we lose certain individuals in our lives because we're not patient enough to wait.